All right, guys, we got a really special show today. I've got Missy Stagers with me from M. Stagers Realty Partners, and I'm really excited. We actually did quite a bit of research to find you, and you are huge. You're huge on the internet. You're huge locally in your real estate market there, and I really just want to say thank you to begin with, because the audience that I've got gets such great benefit from hearing all the things that someone like you is doing in the real estate market right now. So I just want to start by saying thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you. It's an honor. And it's good to know I'm found on the internet. That's kind of important.
That's important, isn't it?
I like hearing that. Yes.
And I'll tell you one of the coolest things, just to pump you up a little bit more, is the first thing we looked at when we were looking for people to have on here is top 100 agents in the US. Not only were you on that list, but you were like in the top 10. Now, I don't know if they ranked it like that or not, but who cares? It looked amazing. So you were up there. That's pretty awesome. So kudos to you. That's pretty impressive. And where are you out of?
San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, man. So we have a similarity. We were in the military. I was Army. You were Navy?
Navy.
You were Navy. Okay. Were you enlisted or were you an officer?
Enlisted and then married an officer.
Well, okay, so you're hardworking and you married into somebody. Yeah, that's great. Perfect.
I married up.
Well, yeah, exactly.
My husband says he married down.
Is he still in or no?
He's retired.
He is retired. Okay.
Real estate now.
And he's Navy also?
Yes.
You guys met in the Navy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, that's pretty cool. So really what we're trying to do with this podcast here is deliver as much value to any agent in the market who's looking to grow their business, to get bigger, to get better, to get faster, to get in front of more clients. So a lot of the questions I'm going to ask you kind of focus on that. What are you and your team doing? By the way, you've got a monster brokerage there, right? How many people you got at your brokerage?
Just under 30 at the moment for a boutique, which is kind of where I want to keep it.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And you guys, if I did my numbers correctly, you've got 700 million in sales and you've got 3,800 transactions. Like, that's your experience level on that team.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's a wealth of experience right there. So are you taking new agents, or do you have to have a certain level of experience to get in there?
No, I actually do take new agents.
You do?
Sometimes I prefer them. To be honest, but I am and have learned I'm a lot tougher in the interview process with them. I'll talk them out of real estate before I'll let them think about getting in real estate, just because so many people think it's so easy and they're not prepared, and they do not have an independent contractor get up every morning, I'm unemployed mindset.
Yeah. So what do you do? Are all these guys, like, do you have a team and you're the team leader, or do you have independents that work with you?
Well, that's correct. I still run my business. I still run my team. And then I have the brokerage with independent agents as well.
Okay. So I'm a brand new agent and I walk through your doors. I fall in love with you. You fall in love with me. I'm going to come and work with you. And I'm on your team. What are you pushing me to do action-wise every single week to get my business off the ground?
Well, and I'll be honest, I push my new agents to do this too. And first thing is, everybody that comes here fills out a business plan. And the business plan is a little different. I don't want to know how many listings you want or how many buyers you want. I want to know, what are you going to do to find business?
Yes. Yes.
The numbers will come if
naturally
you start with the hard facts of, and we always ask, what are your 4 pillars? So who do you know? What do you like to do? And how can you go be with people? Where do you think you can find business? And then build that plan and those steps based on those 4 pillars. And then I want you to go enact them. Bottom line. And it needs to be a daily thing. I tell people all the time, and most people don't realize it, is you are now self-employed, so you have to fill 40 hours a week. It's not called, maybe I'll work today, maybe I won't. You need to schedule your 40-hour week.
Yes.
And how are you going to fill it? Doing those pillars and bringing in business.
I really like that. And I know with my team too, it's the fun, sexy thing to talk about. How many sales am I going to get? What commission am I going to make? But you really don't have a clue, especially as a new agent. You don't control that.
Right.
What you do control is what you do to put things, you control the phone calls, you control the door knocks, you control the open houses.
Right.
So I love that you said that, because I agree with you 100%, focusing on the actions you're taking and just kind of letting that end game fall into place naturally.
Correct.
So what are you guys, or maybe you specifically, doing differently right now to, I mean, you're one of the top agents in the US. What are you doing to get into that spot that a lot of other agents just aren't doing right now?
Mindset number one, as you well know. COVID happened. You can either be a victim or you can go, okay, great opportunity, reset. Now let me learn a few new things and jump in and change however I need to, because I'm going to leave everyone else in the dust. Because too many people take on the victim mentality.
Man, you're speaking my language.
Yeah. So, we were already virtual anyway and doing a lot of things. I think we all learned the Zoom platform overnight.
Yeah.
All of my agents have learned how to embrace it and changing, because this isn't going to change. This interruption that we've had is going to make or break people with, you're either going to learn technology or you're going to be left.
Yes.
And so I have a lot of Zoom. I just had a buyer presentation the other day for the first time. We've never met yet. We did it via Zoom. And we went through, how do you buy a house, all of those things, shared my screen, did a flip stack with them. And it was better than being in person.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I was just looking at my last 10 transactions, and 4 of them, I never even showed the person the home in person. Mm-hmm. It was all me FaceTiming the house. Right. And what question do you have? Yeah, let me zoom in on that. And it was a lot of this. It was Zoom meetings. It was FaceTimes. It was a lot of really good in-depth questions, which are really important. But it's interesting how, and I'm down here in Florida, so I get a lot of people from up north that want to come and find their second vacation home. So it's a little more natural here. That I used to sell up in Minnesota too. Mm-hmm. Up there, you didn't have a lot of that. Everybody looked in person. I don't think I ever sold a home without the person being there. But down here, it's pretty normal, but it's becoming more and more normal. Are you seeing that now too in the last, maybe 2-3 months, where people will buy sight unseen?
Military is very comfortable with it. They know it's not a forever home. And more people, that's even on our listings, between 3D floor plans, do a Facebook Live, walk the house, and keep that recorded. And then in addition to that, you have the photos. So 3 ways of seeing that house. You pretty much have been in that house.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't buy it. The flow, the feel, and that's the nice thing about with 3D tours or doing a live walk, is the fact that wide angle lens on a camera, and it makes a beautiful photo. It's hard for depth perception, but when you're doing an in-person face-to-face walk, it's pretty real.
Yeah, that's 100% true. So you're in San Antonio. How close are you to the Army base there?
We have 5 bases here and very close.
Wow. Okay, cool. And 5 bases. So what percentage of your guys' business do you think is military?
A lot of business is military.
A lot of business. That's awesome. Especially with your background. I mean, what the concerns are, what the issues are, how difficult it is to get people to let you go to do things. You've only got 10 days when you get there. I mean, you're ahead of the competition already in that factor. So I get a lot of people too, because I've got a military background with 10 years in the Army. A lot of the people that watch me are people who are also in the military. They're about to get out and they want to embark on this new thing called real estate. How do I form this question? Looking at the fact that you and I have military backgrounds, what is it that we can use to set ourselves apart from everyone else that we're taking from the military?
Structure. Structure, teamwork, structure, and systems.
Yeah, it's huge.
And it's huge. It's how I handle the load that I handle, because, I've built those systems, and military teaches you that. So it helps. Structure and the systems.
What kind of systems are you implementing that if other agents that are kind of struggling right now, they're having a tough time getting bigger and they want to be able to leverage their time, if they implemented it, they could find more success? What kind of systems you got going on?
I have marketing systems. So everything that comes in has a marketing plan to it. and gets enacted. I have a client CRM to be able to log calls and keep track of people. And then I have a pretty amazing closing system where there is very little that falls through the cracks, because every forgotten task or oh no got put on another checklist. And I'm very checklist driven when it comes to transactions. It's just how you keep things straight. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to wake up in the middle of the night. It's on the checklist.
Oh man, we are like the same. I'm the same way. And when you have a checklist, the cool thing is we all drop balls. We're all humans. Things happen. But if you have a checklist, you can go back and say, I need to add that to my checklist so I never drop it again. That's my motto, is it's okay to drop a ball once. It is not okay to drop a ball twice. Exactly. And the checklist is a way to make sure that happens. I love that you said that. And all these checklists that you use, everybody in your team uses those same checklists?
Yes, everybody on the team uses the same checklist, and actually everybody in my brokerage does. Everything, when I started my brokerage, everything I do as a team, I give to my individual agents as well.
Love that. I love that. So looking at, how long were you in the Navy for?
I was in for 4 years.
So you're in for 4 years. So I assume there's a little bit of similarity between the Navy and the Army. We had a lot of training. I mean, that was probably 30, 40, 50% of our time in the military was training. And I took a lot from that when forming my team and deciding how I was going to train my people. Mm-hmm. How do you train your people? And I'm not just talking about the training itself, although we can get into that. But how do you structure it? Is it like every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, or is it through Zoom? Is it in person? What do you guys focus on?
We were doing it so training for newer agents is every Wednesday. And we don't train how to fill out a contract. We train what are all the things you need to learn about a transaction.
Yeah.
I actually did a new agent interview today, and I said, I take my 26, 27 years of knowledge and go, okay, what were all the mistakes made? That's what I'm training you. So like when you go show a property and there's a shed in the backyard, you won't be paying for that shed because you forgot to put it on a non-realty item addendum, because they can be picked up and moved.
Yep.
And all of those things we do. And then on top of that, I bring in training. My right hand is a certified truck trainer here in Texas.
Yeah.
So she can train for CE hours. But besides that, we are very avid in my office about learning. So title companies will come teach here directly in person.
Yeah.
And then since COVID, and even before COVID, we were doing some virtual stuff anyway. Zoom has really helped facilitated that. And I'm lucky because all of my agents have adopted it very well.
That's awesome. That's huge.
Yes, it is.
So you guys, are you all in the same CRM too?
Yes, we use KV Core.
You do? Okay.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
And for new people, I would have to say, because KV Core is not cheap.
Yeah.
But a very inexpensive, amazing CRM is Wise Agent.
Wise Agent.
Wise Agent. It's like $25 a month, and it is pretty amazing.
What do you like about it?
For me, it's always been on a CRM. I want to be able to tag it to the nth degree. So Wise Agent is very simple. It's not expensive. You can tag people. You can say seller 2020, seller 2019, buyer 2017,
yes.
Top 50. That's the most important thing with the CRM, is being able to tag and sort.
Yes.
Besides birthdays, email out of, do all of those wonderful things CRM do. It's simple and it allows you to really organize.
Interesting. I really like that, because I use Follow Up Boss, which is it's $70 a month or $69, whatever it is. I love it too, but I use it because it integrates with my triple dialer.
Right.
That's one of the biggest things. But I am. Man, this is an embarrassing way to bring this up, because you're going to know something I should know. I'm an EXP agent. KV Core is that's an EXP product, right?
KV Core is EXP uses KV Core.
But it's not an EXP exclusive. Well,
No,
obviously.
it's not an EXP exclusive by any means.
Okay. And I get asked it all the time, and I'm like, I don't know. I've never used it. What's the biggest plus to KV Core? Why would I quit using what I'm using? I mean, assuming I'm not using Mojo Dialer and start using KV Core, what's it do for me?
KV Core is a pretty amazing system because it has more than just your CRM. You can do all your advertising out of KV Core, your website building. You can do that. They keep adding to it. So it's more than just a CRM. So when it pretty much has the beginning to end. So when I list a property, it can make all of your stuff for the listing. It can advertise the listing. It can put it all over social media. You can pay for leads on it. It's an all-encompassing system. That's what's very powerful about KV Core. It has tons of add-ons. So it has the Mojo Dialer, everything else you can add on. And they keep adding more and more and more.
That's awesome.
It does all your social media posting too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think that's a big deal. That's something I'm quickly learning is a big deal between one company and another. When you're looking at anything, right? Whether like I get my data through RedX, I get my dialer through Mojo, I get my CRM through Follow a Boss. If you're with a company that got really big really quick and now they're kind of content with where they're at, it sucks because they don't want to make changes. They don't want to update anything, and it's challenging. So to hear that about KV Core, for me, that's pretty promising. That's a cool thing to hear. You brought up social media. What's the focus with you guys with social media? Is it a big deal? Is it not a big deal? And if it is a big deal, what are you guys doing? What's the tangible plan that you guys are implementing?
It's a very big deal. So, I had one agent that came back after being out of hiatus for 10 years. Used to work with him before I opened my brokerage, and he was not on Facebook at all.
Yeah.
I said, guess what? You're going to be on Facebook.
You're going to be on Facebook.
It's the new platform.
Yeah.
And he took it in stride and learned it, and he found the benefit of it. So here, I don't care which platform you are. You need to pick your platform you want to specialize in. You got to be on all of them.
Yep.
And I think one of them that people forget the most or don't think is important is Google. Google Business.
Yes.
Extremely important. Just as important to post on there, do on there as it is on Instagram or other things. But it's as much as social media can be a drain for business. It's been the most amazing thing to stay in front of people or find out what's going in your client's life.
Yes.
I have my assistant pulls up every day and goes into my tagged clients and see who has a baby, who has this, who has that. So I can send out cards to them. How in the world could I ever have done that before?
That's amazing. So when I come in as a new agent, are you sitting down and kind of building a social media plan with me, or how are you doing that?
Yes, I make them get all of their social media, and I do make them do a social media plan. I make them build out a 12-month plan.
Yes.
That what are you going to put? We have stuff that we build for them to be able to share. The KV Core system shares, and then I teach them how to share. And then once a quarter, I also do shareables. Like for the 4th of July, we got a flag that flown over the Capitol of Austin, put together a big barbecue basket with gift certificates in it. And then all my agents got to share that with a question, so that we elicit comments on their Facebook page to get engagement. And then we put all the names in a drawing, and then somebody wins, and we make them have to come in, because then that's another social media gig there.
Yes.
And then utilize that.
I love that. And I love that you said engagement, because one of the things that I push agents to quit doing is look at my new listing and look at my open house. And I think that's the most boring, not personal. Like, just, all I see is you are boring and unoriginal. So if I'm working here as an agent, you just did less for you. Like, get you in there. Like, this, I mean, unfortunately, this is what my logo is, but this is my logo, right? So get it out there. Like, build some personality with some people. So to hear that you're doing that kind of stuff, I think that's phenomenal. And that works for you. You get a lot of engagement from that.
We do get a lot of engagement from that. And then it makes more people share. And in fact, sometimes we'll do giveaways. like a Nest thermostat, Nest thermostat, and it's open because you can't, if you're going to do a giveaway, it has to be open to the public. Okay. And you can't just say it's only for your clients. So it's open to the public. It gets shared on your pages.
Is that like a NAR thing, or is that like a legal?
That's a legal thing. Okay. And so what's great about that is we get people that didn't know who we were before.
Yeah.
Now they do. They want a thermostat. Guess what they do? They go talk.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cheap advertising.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of cheap, let's get into the big like I'm in a million of these real estate groups on Facebook, and it's always so interesting where the focus lies. One of the biggest questions, and it can be asked a million different ways, is what is the best paid lead gen source right now? Do you think there is a good lead gen source out there? At what point does a single agent start paying for it, or do they pay for it at all? And what kind of tips would you give with it?
I have 2 tips. I will tell you, I prefer Zillow over Realtor.com any day.
Yeah.
Lead gen with Zillow is very effective if you have the time to answer the calls. If
quickly
if you miss the call or you can't call back immediately, you're losing dollars.
Yeah.
In addition to that, if you're going to be a first beginner in Zillow, you want to pick a zip code that's really cheap.
Yeah.
And make it work.
That's a good point.
Other than that, Facebook leads are becoming very, very prominent. The one thing that I will tell you that I have a very different philosophy on Facebook leads is I don't need a name and a phone number and an email just to have.
Yeah.
I'd rather get less and be quality than have a bunch. And so the intentions of what you use needs to be more specific. And I'll give you a very good example. Let's say I'm looking for sellers. So I can do an ad out there about, click here to get your top 10 new paint ideas. Okay. Well, that's probably a whole lot of people that may not think about selling.
Yes.
I don't need to waste my time calling those people. But if I put what's your top 10 staging tips for getting your house ready on the market, somebody filling that one out, probably a pretty good lead. So thinking through what really is your audience, who you're trying to hit, and being a little more narrow is better than having 1,000 names to waste your time on calling and setting up on drip campaigns.
Yes.
Because they're not in the market.
So are you doing your Facebook ads through your business page, or are you doing them a different way?
I'm doing our Facebook pages through our business page, yes.
Gotcha. And then do you use Pixel at all?
I have not used Pixel.
Okay. I just started using Pixel, and I'm not even smart enough to really know. Do you know what Pixel is?
I have heard of it, yes.
I'm just smart enough to say something stupid right now. So after it, what I'm about to say, take it with a grain of salt. But so whatever, like an ad is, say it's $200 and you get 6,000 people that look at your ad. You can take, say, your website, and the people that go to your website, and that's maybe it's 500 people or whatever it is. Now you've got a more concentrated, they already know you, they like you, they went to your site, and you can get an audience built just around them. So it's going to cost you less money, it's more concentrated, and you're getting more hits in front of people. You're always looking for those touches.
Right, so you can retarget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about yet. I'm just implementing, and we'll see what happens. That brings up a great point too. One of the big things I try to focus on daily, because all of us want to be amazing. We want everything we do to be perfect. But if you spend so much time trying to perfect your listing presentation, your buyer interview, you're never going to get anything done. Yeah. So I always tell people, get a B+ plan and just fly as fast as you can with a million B+ plans. What do you think about that?
Totally agree. I had to get over myself. Even like Facebook Live, I was like, oh my God, I'm either fat, I don't look good, I'm just like, screw it. And you just go with it. And you make mistakes, you go with it. It makes you real. People love you. I had to learn that. That's for those of us that really like perfection, and we don't want to feel stupid or look stupid. You just got to get over it. You will never have it perfected.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the lives, because I think that's the big one. I think everybody knows that right now you're going to get the most viewership, the best viewership, if you go live on whatever platform it is, right? But nobody wants to do it because, oh my gosh, what if I say the wrong thing? But my big thing is just like, you know what Gary Vaynerchuk is?
Yes.
Yeah. So that dude is just throw content out and let people kind of fall in love with you. And you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fumble on your words, and you're going to say something incorrectly that you're going to have to correct, but just do it. You're human. Let people fall in love with you, not the perfect words. And I'm such a fan of that. I'm trying to be on social media all day long, every day. And I mean, but you get used to it. Once you start doing it enough, those opening day jitters kind of go away and you feel a lot more confident, don't you think?
I would totally agree. And then you just learn to go with the flow. The other day I was doing one on a house and I couldn't get the door open. I said, well, I guess we won't be going outside. Oh, wait a minute, the door got stuck. It really does work. And you just go with it. You know?
Just go with it.
People love that. They do.
Yeah.
It makes them laugh. They get a good chuckle. You laugh at yourself and go with it.
I love that. Well, listen, a lot of these folks watching, we're absolutely, I'm a big caller. I know a lot of the people that watch me are big cold callers, and we often get people from all around the U.S. that need help. So if we want to send you some of our referrals over in San Antonio, what's a good way for people to get in touch with you?
Really easy. Email Missy at msrpsa.com, which is just M. Stagers Realty Partners SA.com, or cell phone 210-274-8753.
Awesome. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can see all that down in the comments. We've got all our information so you can contact her. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this, Missy. I really like that you're straightforward. You're right to the point. Obviously, you've got a ton of experience, and you're just a wealth of benefit for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
All right. You have a good one.
Okay. You too.